Would you like to work closer to home, save money on gas, and be rewarded for your hard work and attendance? Then Bellisio Foods is looking for you. That's right, Bellisio Foods is now hiring for multiple positions and shifts with great employee benefits, an on-site health clinic, competitive wages, and advancement opportunities. Bellisio Foods is a company that truly values their employees. Apply online at belisiofoods.com/careers.
At Vinton County National Bank, we believe in supporting the areas where we live and work. Now, we'd like to honor those who also serve our communities. Our new Community Champions account is especially for first responders, veterans, active military, and anyone employed in the fields of healthcare or education. This account offers rewards, discounts, and other benefits to those who give so much to others. Vinton County National Bank, rewarding those who serve.
Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the morning show right here on Main Street TV, where we are here with one of our very special guests in the studio, and that is President Ryan Smith of the University of Rio Grande and Rio Grande Community College. So welcome.
Thank you. It's been too long.
It is. Yes, you said it.
That's my fault.
You said it.
I'll own that.
We're going to go with that. We're going to blame you, although, you know, I'm sure we're to blame too. But no, it's always fun to have you in the studio because Rio is so ever changing and you guys are just always adding things and whatever. So having you here today with a couple of major announcements, really. And we look forward to talking with you, finding out what's going on at Rio. So how are you?
I'm good. I'm just my head spinning from all the things that we have going. So we're just learning to juggle anyway.
I guess so.
Yeah.
And you all just keep on keeping on. You have so many different projects. All, juggling would be the word. How are you keeping them all up in the air?
I've got a great team. They do a really good job. So I get the credit, but they do the work. So.
Well, let's be honest. You know, you did come from a political background most recently to University of Rio Grande. Which one is more stressful?
Oh, without question, politics.
Is it? Okay. Yeah. So you're much more chill where you are. Then.
Yeah, no, this is great. I really enjoy Rio Grande. I like higher ed. It's a lot of fun.
Absolutely. And it's just so, it's so beautiful. I got to spend some time down on the campus recently, and I guess I just hadn't been in a while. You know, I don't have any really reason to go. And it is gorgeous. Absolutely beautiful there.
Yeah, we like to think so. And we've made some additions and some remodels and things like that. So it's taking on its own life right now.
Love it. And of course, you have, you are here. We're going to talk about some announcements, but you have kind of made some announcements here and there recently. So I know you brought some notes, so don't let me stand in your way of talking about some of the fun things that are coming up.
Well, you know, I started writing this down because last time I was here, I think we talked about rugby, and we were starting rugby.
Yeah, and that's been a minute.
It has, and we've done really well with rugby. If you've not been to a game, you should come because it's a fantastic sport to watch. It's fascinating.
They're certifiably insane to play that sport, but
without question. But we've had a lot going on since then. Since you've been to campus, you saw it, but our Trinity Hall is our latest big investment. It's a $20 million residence hall with apartment style, so meaning they all have their own bathrooms and showers inside with a kitchen.
Yeah, I think the last time we visited and talked with you, it was where there was a church or something there in that lot, and it was getting ready to be cleared for this. So that project's coming along now. It
is. It's going to be open here in August. We actually, we take the keys here in next month in July.
Wow.
And we'll do a ribbon cutting in August, and it's 186 beds. Like I said, every room has its own bathroom, shower, and a kitchenette.
So it's kind of like an apartment.
It is, very much. It's modern dorm living.
Okay.
For what students are wanting nowadays.
Yeah, they want their own space and some amenities.
Right. And all of our other dorms were traditional dorms that had hallway bathrooms and showers and gang showers, that kind of thing. So this is a lot better. I think it's been really popular, well received. And Trinity Church sat there, which we named it Trinity Hall.
That's very fitting.
Yeah, and try to honor the past and look to the
Sure.
future.
So what gave you the idea to do this? Was it, students asking for this kind of thing, or in talking with other universities, or how did you get the idea?
Well, I mean, two things. Students definitely wanted that. That's
Okay.
what they want nowadays, is their own bathroom and their own room. More importantly, we were running out of room in our dormitories. So we needed
good
more
problem.
space. It's a great problem. We needed more space, and for us to continue to grow, we were going to have to add an additional dorm. So that's when we decided to do that.
Okay, so just like, well, if we're going to do it, let's do this upright.
Right, exactly. So it's been our biggest investment by far in the 5 years that I've been there. And then at the same time, we just completed a $2 million renovation of Rhodes Hall, which is our student center. So it looks like a brand new building. It looks really good inside. All the students interact in there, from getting their financial aid to paying their bill to the coffee shop, the bookstore. Everything's in one place. Student success coaches are in there to help them schedule. Healthcare is in there as well. So it's a very utilized building. We just finished that up this year too. So two great components to main campus.
I mean, just a new dorm and a new student center renovation. It's just that. It's fine.
Look, we've been blessed to
No,
be able
that
to
is
do
awesome.
so many different things, and as we think about the community college mission with our centers, like here in Jackson, we have one in Meigs, we have one in Benton County. We are opening one in Pike County this fall, so we'll have a center there in Piketon that will service Pike County.
Okay.
So what we're trying to do is take the community college footprint closer to the masses, so they don't have to drive a half hour, 45 minutes, or an hour
That's
to get an
amazing.
education. And with that news, we were fortunate enough to get $500,000 in grant money from the state for some new equipment here in Jackson. So we're going to build out an industrial technology in the back, which used to be the old
Fun.
bowling alley.
Yes.
Right. So that'll be all industrial technology, and then we've got $1.3 million out of the Appalachian Community Grant, which kind of. So the first piece was the equipment. This will be all the furnishings around it.
Sure.
So we'll have a new space there that will really benefit. If you want to go to work at General Mills or Belicio, this will be a great pathway to that.
And so in talking with some of the folks that were telling me about that originally, they're like, oh, yeah, you can learn to run a forklift and do all like the fun stuff. I'm like, oh, can I come out and play?
Sure. We'll have you out and play and put you on the welding simulator and everything. You'll enjoy that.
I would love that. That would be really cool.
It's very popular. We do some camps in the summer for some younger kids to get them interested in it, and they always like it. So it's good stuff. Not the forklift, but can't let just anybody on
Don't
that.
want to let me on a forklift either.
But since then, we also announced the MacArthur Center. Yeah.
Mind blown.
$12 million grant to build a facility over there, which will also have healthcare with Holzer. It'll have Ohio Means Jobs, so the connection of people that need jobs can get training with us. It's right there contiguous to Benton County School District.
Yeah.
In their high school and middle school, so it's basically on the same campus. I think it'll transform that county. It'll be really good.
For sure. When I heard about that, I'm like, my mind started spinning of all the different good things that means, but all, the things that could be added to that building, or that can, it's all just like on one stop shop thing. So fun.
And in the middle, so there's 6 classrooms that have dividers that come out. So in the middle, if you pull the dividers back, now we have a community room to service the community. So if you want to have a Chamber of Commerce dinner or something like that, you pull those out, you got a big, nice room. It'll be a first-class facility. We're really excited
Design
about
that
it.
yourself?
I don't design anything. That's not my thing.
Like, yeah, I did.
I couldn't even pull that off. No, they've done a nice job with it, though. We're excited. That'll be hopefully coming online next fall 25.
Wow.
Yeah.
How does that come to be? Like, do you have an idea and then you present it, or it's kind of like what comes first, the chicken or the egg? How was it like, oh, well, we have this facility in Benton County. It's not ideal. Let's just be honest.
Yeah, that's fair.
So we want to strive for something bigger and better. How did it come to be?
So when I represented the county, I kind of got to know it pretty well and what they needed.
Okay.
And at the same time, when COVID hit, ARPA dollars came to the state, and they had these dollars. And I called the governor and said, hey, I've got a project in Benton County that is truly transformational, and we can accomplish three
That's
or
the
four.
word, transformational.
Yeah, we can accomplish 3 or 4 different projects under one roof.
Yeah.
We would never be able to justify putting the resources of that magnitude into Benton County because we could never get a return on our investment.
Sure.
So with the grant money coming in and being able to do this, we're able to take education to the masses over there and really start to change that county. At the same time, offering the health care, offering the high means jobs space in there. Benton County schools will have some space in there. So it kind of all came together that way.
Okay. It's
And then-
win-win.
Yeah, and the governor announced his initiative for $500 million to come into our region, and that's when
You're like,
just
oh,
kinda
Mr.
all
Governor,
aligned."
remember?
Yeah, right.
Remember that thing I called you about?
So it worked out well. I mean,
Great.
kudos to them for making the investment, and I think it'll help a lot. I mean, it will transform Benton County for sure, and I'm excited about Jackson County and what we're going to be able to do here at our Jackson Center in the back. I think it's going to be really, really good.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know that you mentioned it for a second, but you talked about like a welding simulator. You talked about there'd be some equipment like learning to do the forklift. I think was one of the things that the gang told me about. What will all the stuff in the Jackson Center?
Oh,
Can
you're
you
getting
think of it off your.
you're getting out of my depth now. You know, they have a lot of the technology that can be universal to Belicio, General Mills, Kenworth, all the companies that you'd want to go to work in if you were in industrial technologies.
Okay.
I couldn't tell you exactly what all of that is.
Even space side. I mean, any.
Oh, yeah.
anything
Spaceside's
around
another good
here
example.
that's the HERS plant, all of that.
Right. It will give people the basic skills for that and hopefully then some. And we're going to start working with some of the companies and more specifics on how we can do that.
You know, it's so good like to get partnerships, I think, with some of the companies. I know, for example, you know, with Buckeye Hills where they have like the masonry program and work with companies. And, you know, it's like, okay, again, it's win-win for everybody.
Yeah, sure.
You have the people that need the workers, and you have those people training the people that they can then turn around and hire. I mean, that's like awesome.
Yeah, it really is.
So good.
So that's all the things that we have there. We have, since I've talked to you, I think, started a master's in nursing program. Now that is actually remote. We do that in Blue Ash, Cincinnati, and we do it in Salem up in Columbiana County.
Okay.
So we have 2 off-site campuses up there
Okay.
that are specific to that program. And then we started agriculture, a meat science specialty.
I had forgotten all about that. How's that going?
It's going well. I mean, it's coming out of its infancy. We really need to build probably a show ring and start to add on to that and expand it. But I've been really happy with that. I think it's going to be even better, especially like when we brought men's wrestling. When we started that, we saw an uptick in welding and some heavy industries. The students wanted to take that. And I think with the onset of football, we'll have more and more agriculture.
What did you just say?
Yeah, that's the...
What's the word?
Well, I'll say this. We have marching band, right? Let's not leave that out because I'm as excited about marching band as I am football.
Honestly, people say to me, oh my gosh, Ryo's adding football and marching band. Like they don't just say football, they say both.
Right.
Because they go hand in hand.
And we have a lot of great marching bands in the area. Big marching bands.
Amazing.
So if you think about our region in Southeast Ohio, if you're in either marching band or football,
in our blood. Music is in our blood here.
That's right. But if you want to continue that, there's not very many students that have the opportunity to go play in a marching band at a school within 100 miles because they're usually big schools. The same thing with football, right? And we don't have too many people that go play for OU, Marshall, very seldom Ohio State or something of that magnitude. Right. This gives everybody an opportunity to continue participating in what they love. And marching band, I think, brings all this energy and element, not just for football, but it'll bring it to all the sports. When we have a band at a basketball game,
oh my gosh,
the energy is just through the roof. We're excited. So today we announced Coach Quincy Wilson is our new football coach.
Okay.
He grew up in Weirton, West Virginia. His father actually played outside linebacker for the Bears back in the 80s with the
Speaking
Super
of
Bowl.
it being in your blood.
Yeah, he's got quite the
Wow.
pedigree. He went to WVU, was a high school star, a college star at WVU, played 4 years in the NFL. So he's our new coach. We just announced that today.
How on earth did you get him?
I like to say that's the Rio magic, right? I mean, we
I'll go with that.
we bring people to campus, and I think our students fall in love with it. But he's excited. I think he's going to be great. Going to bring a lot of energy. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're actually going to play here at Jackson High School
Yeah.
until we build a stadium.
I assume there are plans to build your own stadium.
There are, but right now we're expanding our fitness center because our fitness center was built 33 years ago for about 300 student athletes or student population. Well, now we're at 600 student athletes before we go to football and band, so we're probably going to be 750 fall of 25. So we needed a bigger space, so we're building a new fitness center, and then, of course, locker rooms for football and soccer are going to go down on the field. And then second phase is a stadium with turf field.
Okay.
So that's all to come.
So, logistically speaking, when will football and band start at Rio? Will it be this coming fall or the following?
Following fall of 25.
Okay.
Yep.
And it sounds like a really long time, but it's not.
That's what the coach said today. We're going to start in the fall of 25, which is going to feel like next week.
Yeah.
'Cause
That's what I'm sitting here thinking.
It's going to come quickly.
Well, because number one, you're starting from scratch. You have to find players and you have to find band members and you have to, find all these people and then start training.
What's been amazing, particularly about football, is I don't think we're going to have to find players. They're finding us.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's been tremendous, the amount of people that are reaching out to us. Even some early enrollees that say, I want to be there when you start football because I want to continue to play.
Awesome.
And we had a couple of transfers already from marching band that said, I want to be in your marching band. So we're getting ready, hopefully, to start interviews for the marching band director.
Sure.
And get that up and running as well. But, in addition to that, this year, the lesser known in football overshadows everything, but we started a dance team to go on the basketball court and things like that at halftime. In
Yes.
addition to cheer, we started women's wrestling, which has grown in popularity throughout the state and certainly here in Jackson.
Yeah.
And then we started archery, and archery has been this hidden gem. Our coach in archery is the U.S. Paralympic coach, so he's going to Paris for the Olympics, and he coaches the Paralympic team. And he's
Okay.
got 30 students coming from 25 different states to shoot for him. And our archery team, I think, is going to be competitive right out of the, no pun intended, right out of the chute.
You're so funny. I got you.
But those are, we announced that
That is
before
so
football, and there's a
cool.
lot of good things happening. And then, of course, football kind of takes all the oxygen in the room. But we've got a lot of momentum in a lot of ways.
Unbelievable. So let's talk about the growth of Rio for a minute, backing up to when you started. And what year was that?
2019, October of 2019.
And he's like, oh, yeah, I'm going to go run this university. There will never be a global pandemic. Welcome to Rio. Now there's a global pandemic.
5 months into my term, this thing called a pandemic came up. The only good news there, it didn't matter if you had 30 years of higher ed experience. We were all on a level playing
Listen,
field.
Somehow the playbooks for global pandemics got lost somewhere along
That's
the way.
exactly right.
And none of us had a clue, so it's fine.
Yeah, it's been an adventure, to say the least.
I'll bet.
But
no, so let's talk about that though. How has Rio grown since you started in 19, not knowing there was going to be that madness, and then up until now? Your enrollment's gone.
yeah, it's gone up double digits for
Way
many,
up.
many years. We're probably at about 2,150 head count now. I want to say our head count was around 1,550, 1,619. So we've gone up a lot. Our on-campus resident students I think it was 180 when I arrived, and we're at 370 this year.
Wow.
we'll hopefully be pushing 500 next year, and certainly after football comes, we'll be north of 500. So that's really brought a whole new vibe to campus because we have people that are living there.
Well, exactly, because it just, you're right, a new vibe, an energy, a life to the campus that, if everybody's there during the day and then leaves, it's one thing. If there's people there 24/7, that's really cool.
Yeah, and we were fortunate in the sense that the good side of the pandemic was the HERF dollars. That's the higher ed relief fund that the federal government sent.
Okay.
It gave us a little bit of a cushion, which allowed us to do something that we needed to do for a long time, which was a tuition affordability plan. So on the 4-year side, on the private university side, we were about $27,500 in a year in tuition. We were able to drop that nearly $8,000.
Whoa.
And we did it because we had the cushion. We thought that we would retain more of our 2-year students into the 4-year because a lot of them would transfer prior to that. And we did. We went up 38% in enrollment that year.
Wow.
So that gave us a huge shot in the arm, and we've just kind of kept the momentum going. We went from 17 sports to, I think, 28 or 29 now.
Yikes. That is awesome.
So there's a lot of things to do. We've added Grand Chorale, the singing group that we have that does a fantastic job. We have symphonic band back. So we're trying to do a lot of different things to attract students and more importantly, keep them and retain them and get them an education and a degree. So, I have more alumni in the future to tell me how Rio changed their life, because that's what I get a lot.
That is like unreal.
Yeah.
That has to just be so heartwarming for you.
There's nothing better than watching students that have struggled because life happens, right?
Sure.
Half of our students are first generation degree seekers.
Wow.
So nobody in their family's earned a degree, and there's a lot of things happening in their life that could keep them from being successful, and they overcome that and handing them a degree. I handed it to one young lady this year that I've known since she's been there, and she's said, I want to be a doctor when I first met her, and she's a CCP student. Amazing young lady. Had tears rolling down her face. And I have no doubt she will be a doctor.
Because she said so, and you believe it.
Well, and she's done so well and overcome so much. She's just determined. So to see that, or
Great.
take that to a non-traditional student, when you hear a little one yell out, go mommy or go daddy.
Yes.
I mean, the power of that.
That is huge.
To see your mom or dad earn a degree, and maybe it's the first degree in the family, that will change lives for a generation to come. So to me, that's where it's at. Changing things like that, and we call it changing tomorrows at Rio Grande, because that's what I told the faculty. We're in the business of changing tomorrows. And sometimes they know it at the time, and sometimes they don't. But in the end, they all learn it, and it's powerful stuff.
That is amazing. So I think with the, I'm just throwing out things that are coming into my mind, which is terrifying for you, I'm sure, because you know me. No, I was thinking about the pandemic, and one of the things that happened were certain classes, things like that, were put online remotely. How was that affected? Is everybody kind of back to coming to class now, or has online education continued on? How does that work?
It was a culture shock to our campus because we didn't do a lot of online classes when I arrived. And I told the faculty, I think we're missing an opportunity here. And they kind of, at the time, they were a little bit fearful of that because I think they thought we were just going to take everything online, which was not at all what I meant. But then the pandemic hit and everybody was forced to go online.
Right. Well, how many of us had heard of Zoom before the pandemic hit? I hadn't.
Right.
What?
It's amazing what Microsoft Teams and Zoom can do for you. But,
right.
But they all, to their credit, they adapted really quickly. We pivoted. We finished that semester. We actually came back face-to-face that summer. I think we were the first campus in Ohio to come back face-to-face because we kind of had to because of the lack of connectivity.
Yes.
So it wasn't just that it was hard to teach
area.
online. Yeah, they couldn't get connected. So we do more online now because of the pandemic because people got comfortable with it.
Sure.
In some ways, that works out really well because picture this: if you have a low enrolled class in Jackson, and you have the same class in Meigs, we do what we call multi-synchronous location.
Okay.
So we can have the teacher in Jackson for 2 days a week, and then the next week they go to Meigs, and they're kind of zooming into the other classroom.
I got you.
So it's a hybrid kind of.
So they're in school, in classroom sometimes, and sometimes it's virtual.
Well, they're always in the classroom. It's just whether the professor is in the classroom with them.
I got you.
Or connected on the other end. But it
So
allows us to
smart.
take a class of 5 here and 5 here to make a class of 10, which normally would be enough to have your class, where
Right.
5 you're getting into a dangerous territory whether you can have it or not.
Sure.
So it allows us to do
Thinking.
things like
This
that.
is why you get paid the big bucks.
I can't take credit for all of this. I'm sure there were smarter people than me came up with that.
No, that is really, really cool. So, I mean, if there are some little things that came out of this pandemic we can give it credit for, there are things like that. So
There were some good things that came out of it.
there were. You're right. Okay, so back to this football thing. Let's get more into the specifics of the football and the band, because you will be playing the first year or two, I think, here in Jackson at our high school stadium, which rivals any pretty much college stadium, so that's very fitting. But how logistically is that going to work?
Well, I mean, if you think about it, we only play five home games a year.
Okay.
We don't conflict usually with Saturdays. I know Jackson plays an occasional Saturday night game. Ours will almost always be during the day, probably a noon to 1. I'm just guessing. I don't know what the schedule will look like. But 5 times a year, we'll play a home game.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, so
Really it's not that big of a deal.
it's not. And as you said, I mean, it's a great field.
Oh.
And our coach said that. I've been there a couple times because he came and recruited players in Southeast Ohio at a high school playoff game.
Oh,
So
okay.
he's familiar with the stadium. He said, yeah, it's fantastic.
It's awesome.
Right. So that fits us really well. It's just going to be a lot of fun.
I think so.
And we'll generate some excitement and hopefully get more people involved in Rio Grande. And when they realize that, there's not much we don't offer. I mean, we go clear to archery and bass fishing. So, and if you like to sing, if you like playing the band, if you like playing symphonic band, we've got something
All
for
of
you.
that.
Yeah.
And you know the I guess what you would think of the normal everyday, the volleyball and do you have baseball?
Mm-hmm. All
Soccer.
traditional sports.
Yeah, all of that stuff is there.
Yep.
So a lot of people may not know that, but I wanted to make sure that we talked about that too, as we were talking about football and band and some of the other things. So the logistics, though, of getting a football and team and band traveling has to be.
So the football
A
team
thing.
will have 120 on the roster approximately. I think we'll have 65 on a travel team is usually what they travel. So
Okay.
that's a big expense.
Yeah.
So we try not to do overnights. We'll play in the Appalachian Conference, which has 3 teams in Kentucky. It's got a Bluefield, Virginia team. So all of those are day trips.
I was gonna say, what's the farthest away? How far will you?
It's either Reinhardt or Point University, which is down by Atlanta.
Okay.
So those will be overnights. They're probably 7-8 hour trips.
Okay.
So
And you load everybody on a bus and off you go, huh? Whew.
so we'll have to make some investments in some new buses and
Yeah. I guess I didn't know. Do universities charter buses? They have their own buses. How does that work?
so some charter them, but that's pretty expensive. We actually do a lease with the bus company, so we have 4 buses now,
Okay.
different sizes. We have a couple of long ones because the track team's nearly 100 student athletes as well. So it takes a lot.
Yeah.
So we'll have a couple more buses.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just something else to put on your plate. It's fine.
It's all good.
No, so you can say, okay, we're going to have a football team and a band and all of this, and we hired a football coach, but obviously you need a lot more support staff than that. So will you be hiring more people to kind of go along with all of that as well, or does the coach hire those people? How does that work?
The coach will hire his staff.
Okay.
So immediately he'll probably hire an offense coordinator or defense coordinator.
Okay.
And they will recruit for the next year to bring in 120 student athletes. At the beginning of next year, so January, February timeframe, that's when he'll probably start adding additional staff to his team.
I'm just thinking, that could be, really good jobs for folks around here too. And fun, something fun for people to get into.
Right. It could be a full-time job.
Yeah, even if it's not their full-time job.
Right. People want to be a part of the program, so they either volunteer or they're part-time. We'll have graduate assistant positions as well.
Okay.
Certainly with that many people on the roster, it takes a lot to pull it off. So it will take a lot. And same thing with band. I mean, we're hoping the band starts out in 40 and 50 range. I could easily see it being 80 to 100. I mean,
for sure.
Jackson has, 170 in the band?
Yeah, something like that.
And that's just one high school in our area. So I think that is going to be really big as well.
There's that happy medium with bands in there of, it can get too big or too small. You got to find that sweet spot in there somewhere.
But to that point is we have one director we're hiring first to get the people in, but then we're probably either going to need an assistant director or, again, graduate assistants.
Right. So the support staff will be needed as well, and that will be a great thing for people to get involved in, and a fun thing, I think. So, awesome. So, all right. So, I know you have a list. What else do we have to talk about?
I think I've pretty much covered all the high points. I mean, there are a ton of projects going on. We did an expansion in Meigs that we're just completing too, a power grant expansion of about $1.5 million. So we're trying
everywhere.
we're trying to expand and offer really nice facilities and a great education. And the beauty of it is all of those in the first 2 years for an Ohio student is at the community college rates.
Yes.
So you get a reduced rate.
Sure.
And you have an opportunity to get a certificate or an associate's from the community college. You can go on and get a bachelor's or a master's from the university. So it's kind of an all-in, one-stop shop when it comes to higher ed.
And I was just going to ask you real quickly to touch on the community college versus the university part, just because I think it is a little bit confusing for folks. Could you just kind of fill everybody in on that?
Sure. Anybody in Ohio gets a community college rate. Reduced rate, it's probably somewhere, depending on the program you're in, it could be anywhere from $5,500 a year to $6,800 a year, all in.
Okay.
The Pell Grant right now is about $7,250. So if you're full Pell eligible, meaning you're under-resourced and don't have the money, if you don't think you have a pathway into higher ed, this pays for it, and you can actually get money back to help live on.
There you go.
So we have all that.
So you're saying there's no excuse for people to not go to school if they want to?
I think if you don't think you have a financial pathway, you need to talk to a financial aid department.
I hope people understand that.
Absolutely. So the four-county area that we sit in is what's called the community college district. So it's Jackson and Gallia and Vinton and Meigs. Mm-hmm. There's a levy that was passed in 1973 that generates us tax money to be able to support the community college. They get the lowest rate coming in. Okay. Everybody outside of there gets a reduced rate, but not as reduced as that. So Jackson Countyans and Vinton and Gallia and Meigs have a really good deal. And even if you came from Toledo and you were coming to play volleyball, you're still at a community college rate for 2 years.
Yeah.
Even if you're going to be a teacher, it's a 4-year track. First 2 years community college, cross over 65th credit hour. That's when you go into the university. And again, we reduced that significantly for a private liberal arts college to be under $20,000 is pretty unusual.
Yes, it is. So you can come in, you can do that associate's degree, which is typically a kind of a 2-year degree at a very good rate, like a ridiculously good rate, but then also continue on.
Yeah.
And you said, so master's programs, what all do you have master's programs in, or do you know off the top of your head?
Yeah, I do. I mean, we do a master's in nursing that I mentioned earlier, because nursing's our largest enrolled program. So we do a lot of associate degree nursing. which might be the best bang for your buck because you got 2 years and you're out making $55,000 or $60,000. If you want to live in this area, if you want to travel around, you can make a lot more than that. Oftentimes they'll come back for their bachelor's, so their BSN, or go on for their master's.
So as a 2-year nurse, what is your, is title the right word? What is your degree, or what is your?
It's an associate.
LPN or
No,
more
it's
than that?
no. So the LPN's the level below the RN. So if you graduate with your associates, you would then take the NCLEX, which makes you an RN when you pass it.
Oh, okay.
So you're at that level.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah, and if you go on for your BSN, you're still an RN even if you have your BSN.
Sure. And then you can do this nurse practitioner thing,
Right.
which is
That's-
a whole other
Right.
ball of wax.
Which leads to that,
Yes.
right? But our main offering in a master's program is education and sports leadership. So a lot of our graduate assistants who are athletes want to stick around and be an assistant. They can get a master's in that and have it paid for being a graduate assistant. Same thing will work in band. So if you enjoy band and you want to get a master's, you can do it for free if you're a graduate assistant. And it pays for your housing, pays for your food, and you get your master's after 2 years.
Cool.
And you get to do what you love to do.
Exactly. Before you have to go out in the real big world out there, the big scary world out there.
Right. But we're looking to add more in the advanced degree area. We'll probably in the future look to add a master's in education, which we used to offer,
Okay.
and also a master's in business, so an MBA.
Awesome.
Those are the two that I'd like to add in the future.
Love that. So, see, here you go, Ryo, just ever changing all the time. No, one fun fact you told me, and you can't get out of here without telling the viewers this. When was the last time Ryo had a football team?
November 1949. So we used to sell in the
A
bookstore
few years ago.
shirts that said Rio Grande football undefeated since 1950. So technically we still are. So we're going to carry that in. We've got a winning streak, or an undefeated streak, I should say,
Undefeated.
with
Love
also
that.
the last game in November of 1949. My great grandfather actually played on Rio Grande's team in 1914.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't know that till just recently.
How did you find that little tidbit?
My uncle told me, and our historian Jake Babs looked back, found a picture, and he and his brother both played. So, kind of cool.
I say the uniforms looked a little different back then.
Yeah.
Did they even have uniforms?
Yeah, they didn't have that or social media the way we do now, right? I don't think they were tweeting.
They weren't tweeting anything, or what is it, Xing now, or whatever it is that we do.
I think they had leather helmets back then,
Yeah.
actually.
Which did what exactly?
I
Protected you from
it probably deadened the hit, I guess, a little bit.
maybe.
A little bit.
We'll see.
But what I'd like to do is get Coach Wilson up here for you to talk to
We
him.
would love that.
You will really like him.
Yes.
And
Yes. Look forward to meeting him.
he had the opportunity today. We had a golf tournament on Saturday for the athletic department. He played on my team. He literally barely hit the ball out of his shadow all day long. So the first thing he says in the press conference is, I want to thank President Smith for the opportunity and tell you I'm a lot better golfer than he is. So I just want to say on air that I dispute that.
Oh, now it's on.
So when he comes, don't let him tell you he's a better golfer than me.
I expect you guys, we will settle this debate right here on this program.
That'd be great.
Yes.
I will have Coach Quincy come up, and
I'll sit in between you two and
you will really enjoy the conversation.
love that. Can't wait to meet him. And such an exciting time for everybody and everything that's going on at Rio. All the students have to be just totally excited about it. And it's just a lot different than what I remember. So good job.
Thank you. I'm going to need your ideas on how we can best tailgate for the games and everything.
Woo-hoo-hoo. I could probably come up with something.
I think you could.
I love how he comes to me for that.
I'll give you a title like Director of Fun
Director,
or something
the
like
fun
that.
director.
It doesn't come with a lot of salary, like none, but
Hey, if
you
it
know,
comes with fun
Hey.
in today's world, hey, I'm there.
what better way to change lives than a tailgate, right?
You got it.
Or a networking opportunity, we should say.
Yes, that's what it is. Well, President Smith, we thank you so much for coming in this morning and talking with us. It's always great talking with you, and we're just so proud of you and the whole gang at Rio and everything that you all are accomplishing, because it's just doing such great things for our local folks.
Thank you. I appreciate that, and we're hopeful to continue to open up new opportunities for them.
Heck yeah.
So thanks for having me, and I'll send Coach Wilson up to do another one of these.
That sounds perfect. We'll let him have it about his golf swing.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. Well, we have to get out of here for the day. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll be right back. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Hi, I'm Corbin Wilbur. I'm at the Appalachia Old Car Club Cruise-In. It's a big turnout today. Let's check it out. I'm here with Marty Ross from the Appalachia Car Club. So, how long have you been in this?
I've been a member for 3 years.
All right. So, do you have any cars in the show today?
Well, yes. My wife's 2005 Thunderbird's over here, and my 95 GMC Suburban is down at the entrance, trying to let people know where the car cruise-in is tonight.
All right. Nice. So, how did you get involved in this? How did you figure out about the club?
Well, I know a lot of people that were in it already, and I go to all their events in the past, so it was just my wife wanted a car and wanted to do things with the car club, so we just kind of talked it over and got involved.
All right. So you both got involved around the same time? Just
yeah.
kind of mutual interest thing.
Yeah, she was pushing me along.
Well, it looks like a pretty good thing to get into. A lot of people are here.
Yes.
Does it usually have this turnout, or is this like?
Well, this is only our third one. We had 2 last year. Actually, the first one was our first cruise in, and we had more cars than we knew what to do with. And so in the second one, the weather wasn't so good for it, but still a lot of people showed up. And of course, today it's wonderful weather. And so, yeah, we normally have this many. A lot of people say they'd rather come to a cruise-in than be judged at a car show and all that entails. Some people want to be judged and get the trophy and get known for the hard work that they put in it, but some people just want to drive their car someplace and then talk to the other people that are here.
Yeah. I feel like that's going to gather more people, but I do know you got some door prizes. What are the prizes for today?
We've got everything from a wash kit, tire shine, soap to wash your car with, wash kits with rags in them, and just little things that we say give our appreciation to people coming out. And then a lot of businesses around Jackson, Wellston, and Oak Hill donate. That's where all that comes from. So we're very appreciative of them, and you know, it makes it work, really. And so people aren't expecting big things here, but when we give them something, they're pretty happy about it. Yeah. Sometimes it's we've got a pint of apple butter there from the people at the Apple Festival, Victory Grange, and then we've got a ball cap, so a little bit of everything from one end to the other.
So I also heard that in addition to getting donations from the community, the money you get from here is going to be donated to different places in the community. What are some of those?
We don't collect money here, but our August show that's with the fire department at Pig Iron Days at the Manpower Park, we get a $10 registration fee, and we give to various things around the county. We give to Growing Oaks in Oak Hill, 2 or 3 things in Wellston that's escaping my mind. right now, and the homelessness for the whole Jackson County. But we usually give, we have about 10 charities that we give to, and we give them $100 each, so we spend $1,000 a year on that. So it's, you know, it's just part of what we do, and you know, doing the car show, which is August 3rd this year, and in line with the Pig Iron Days with the fire department and the historical society. That's usually where we make our money. We've had anywhere from 39 cars, but we're usually around 100, 120, and then we distribute that money. We use some of it, of course, and we get some money from the city the tourism bureau here in town, so they give us enough money that helps us operate. Also, putting a show together there's a lot of work today, but the big show is even more work, and so it just takes, we've got good people that are in the club and help do a lot of the work, and so to spread the work out on a bunch of shoulders helps a lot, and but that's our main thing that we have. And just like I said, a couple years ago, we thought, hey, let's have a cruise in. And the church here, Trinity Chapel, said that it'd be all right to have it here, and it's a real good venue. It's off the street, not a lot of traffic. Some people drive through to look at the cars, but in general, you know, a lot of times it's on the street or in the street or something like that, and people are worried about getting their cars hit, but this is a good place to have that not happen. So we appreciate their help with this, and they've made donations for the food and let us use the kitchen and the bathrooms and all that. So they're really good to work with. So we appreciate their help also.
Yeah, they got a really big parking lot here. This is a good place to hold it. Good thing they pitched in for that.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Very much.
it seems the support here in Jackson is pretty large. You got businesses and even the tourism agency sponsoring you.
Right.
But what about outside of Jackson? Do you guys do anything outside?
Well, we take tours from time to time. Just car club members get together and take a tour. We did one last Saturday. We went down through Oak Hill and went out past Lake Jackson, back into Oak Hill, went down 233 and 325 over to Rio Grande, and we ate at Callie's over there. Then we came back, and the little dairy bar on the south end of Oak Hill, we stopped there on our way home and got ice cream. And so, you know, we stop different places and spend money while we're out doing that. But yeah, I mean, we get support from Oak Hill and Wellston and all around Jackson and stuff. So it's really been a good year. That, you know, we're really getting a lot of help from everybody. So we've had a lot of people volunteer that we hadn't even talked to that want to get involved with it. So.
Yeah. And I think that's a big part of it, because I know in previous years I would just see a bunch of older style cars driving down the road and like, where are they going? You know, maybe one day somebody will be like, you know, I'm going to follow them, see where they're going, and end up here.
That's
Wherever.
one way we try to get the word out. Of course, I was on Matt's show the other day and Jennifer's show, and try to just put a little buzz in people's ears. And we put some flyers out around the communities, and so hopefully the word's gotten out that this was going to happen. And by the turnout that we're having here, it looks like the word got out pretty well. So.
Yeah, and I hope it continues to be this big next year.
Oh, same here.
Yeah.
We haven't nailed down a date or anything, I don't think, but we'll probably do one in October, and same setup then as now, so it'll hopefully go off without a hitch, and we'd appreciate everyone that's here coming back again and making it a good cruise in. And that's another thing about a cruise in. You can come, look around or whatever, and then leave. You can come back. It's just a venue, and you can use it as you see fit. So, 50th year.
Yes.
It was started by some guys in 1974, and we're trying to do things this year that we haven't done in the past, and trying to make this a big event year for us. And the Festival of Flags parade got canceled and rescheduled. We were going to be in it. We're hoping to talk to some people about Ohilco Days up to Wellston and do that. We're working on getting in the Apple Festival parade as just a car club, and so we're trying to make this our best year ever.
So this being the 50th year anniversary, is there anyone here today who attended the first meeting by chance?
I don't know, because I've only been in it for 3 years, and I don't think they're members now, but I think there have been a couple guys over sitting at the tables that were original members. So I think there's just 2 or 3 left, and I think a couple of them were here. So we're just glad they just a couple guys, there were 3 or 4 guys sitting around at a gas station one night, and they started talking about it, and they met 2 or 3 times, and they said, heck, let's just make a car club. And it's been going ever since, and working in the community and doing all kinds of good for Jackson County. So I'm glad they got their heads together and got things going.
Yep. So that being said, are there any younger people who are getting into the car club?
We've had some younger people join, and I think they've found other venues for their kind of cars. They had a little different kind of car than what we normally drive or show, but I'd say basically the youngest people are like in their 40s right now. So yes, that's a start. We can always take 20 and 30-year-olds anytime. So would be glad to have anyone that's interested in having a car, going to car shows, taking cruises, whatever. We'll take new members, and younger people are always good to have around. So.
Yeah, I'd say the more people, I guess, get the money to buy old cars, they're probably going to come here.
Well,
I'd say.
I think a lot of it is empty nesters that they have the time and have always wanted a car or some vehicle to work with, and so it's. I think that's a lot of it. That they're maybe chasing grandkids, but that's a little easier than working every day and raising families and all that. But yeah, it's usually older people that have the cars, but I've seen younger people get into it just as much as anyone else. We'd welcome anybody.
Yep, that's good to know, because I mean, honestly, I like events like this. I like the older style cars better than the newer. and as hard as they are to get. But, you know, I think it's really great that we have a way to show these off to anyone who wants to come through.
And they enjoy it too. So, you know, there may have been 2 or 3 car shows today, and just on their way home from that, they decided to drop in here and kind of cool off a little bit before they head home. So we're just glad everyone's here and seems to be having a good time.
Is there anything else you want to say before we finish up?
Not really. Like I said, it's our 50th year, and we're excited about that. And I'm president this year, and I really appreciate all the help that everyone put into making this event and our August event happen. And just thank the vendors and the community for all their support.
And that is it for today. To find out more information about the Appalachia Old Car Club, check out our interview from Main Street TV, either in the description below or on our previous live streams. Thanks for watching.